Good morning, welcome to the Man Cave. I'm Chippa Fate. I just want to take a few moments to show you the gear I take for an extended wild camping trip. In this case it's going to be through forest, so there's a couple of bits of the gear which I have specifically for the hardships associated with going through dense forest. We start at the top here. There's a PLC utility pouch that all that kit fits in, with the exception of the gas canister obviously. But this kit is set up for cooking on an open fire with a backup of an S15E01 stove if you want to do it quick. So it's a PLC utility pouch. That's the lid of the large Tandia tin, which is being modded to act as a billy can with suspension arms and a grill inside for laying your fish on whilst you're cooking the rest. There's another video for that. Yugoslavian cook kit. I only took the aluminium bit. I've left the plastic cup off the top, so I don't really need that. Tin foil for windbreak. That's an Opinel fillet knife. Really good knife, easy to keep clean, keeps its edge really well. Litre water bottle out of the Yugoslavian cook kit. That's the cup. This is a homemade lid for the Yugoslavian mess set. An S-bit hexi burner. This is the pocket one, the smaller one. But obviously if you get a chance you can take a gas stove and a gas bottle, depends on what you're doing. Have a chain to suspend in the billy can. That's an aluminium chain, doesn't weigh very much. Over top of the fire, knife, fork and spoon, and magnesium block and fire steel. So that basically is a kit where I can use depending on what's going to happen. In this case I'll more likely leave these two, so I don't think I'll need them. Plenty of opportunities to make real fires with an S-bit backup stove. Down here we have two aluminium water bottles. I like these because they have an oval shape. They fit into the backpack very well and don't stick out too far, where the round Nalgene bottles and the like seem to stick out really wide and make the backpack even wider. Tendency to catch branches and trees when you go past it. So I have a sit mat. That's a collapsible water bottle which I use for almond milk. I'm lactose intolerant, so I carry my own milk. It'd be nice to be able to find some dry almond milk which I could make up with water, but as of yet carrying it in its liquid form seems to be the only really way of doing it. I have a chopping board. I catch a lot of fish, so I need to prep this on the go, so a chopping board is really useful. Underneath I have a bit of plastic just to keep us off the ground, put my pack on. A little bit of sponge, a lighter, set of mechanics gloves, nice and light. You can still feel you through them, so you can still do fine work, and they'll protect your hands from on the fire. That's a MOD type D survival knife. In the pouch on the side of it I have another fire steel and a box with my fish kit in it. I do a lot of kayak camping, so I have a dragger kit for fishing out the back of the kayak, or you can stake it out. There's a couple of dry bags here which fit into the side pouches of my pack for food. As I say, this trip we're looking at going through the forest, so I use a set of gaiters. I'm quite heavy on my gaiters. These are just a cheap pair and they seem to get torn a lot, so buy a cheap pair, when they wear out throw them away and get them back again. Got a woolen hat, change of socks. You can add more things to them if you're expecting to get soaking wet, but that's an addition to the kit I'll show you later on. This is a mosquito net, set of safety goggles. These are DeWalt, but if you've ever tried walking into the wind along a beach, you'll know that a set of safety goggles are quite useful. And even going through the forest, getting whipped across the face following somebody else with a branch isn't nice. This is a part of the water kit. That's a millbank bag. That is a DD XL top. Although it says there's a travel hammock in it, it's not. I actually just reused the bag to put the top in because it was slightly bigger than the bag that the top actually came in, so it's a little bit easier to stuff the top into it. So that's actually a DD XL top. The extra bit of length makes a huge difference to the comfort level you can have under a top. Obviously that's a military issue thermarest inflatable mat. This is the DD travel hammock in a snake skin. Great bit of kit, leave them in the snake skin. Makes packing and unpacking really quick. You've seen them on other videos, you know what I'm talking about. Arctic sleeping bag. We're still at the back end of winter, and we're down to -2 or 3 last night. Although the sun's shining now, we still get the cold snaps. So I'm still carrying that, although it's really heavy, it does really work. Later in the year that gets swapped down for a 2 or 3 season sleeping bag with a liner that usually copes with everything I need to do. So this is a military issue smock. Depending on where I'm going, depends whether I take this or another jacket. The smock is really hard wearing when you're forcing your way through the underbrush and through trees and climbing over brambles and that sort of thing. You're not worried all the time that it's going to get ripped to pieces, where other tops you're always worried when you walk past a branch if it's going to rip a hole in it. So if you're going somewhere nasty and it's going to be fighting through some trees, use your wind smock. If it's going to be a nice ramble up a nice clear path and all it's going to do is get a bit windy and a bit rain, then it's not really the best because it's quite heavy. I think that's about 1.2 kilos. But anyway, look at where you're going and what you're expected to do. It's lying on top of a Pro Force 85 litre bag. It's not the best, it's not the worst. However, it was really competitively priced and I've had no components failing it whatsoever. Down here we have a DD hammock under blanket. Makes a big difference. Although I've got the thermarest, having the under blanket does put an extra couple of degrees on the comfort level. Coming down this side, toilet paper. They have vegetable cooking oil, washing up liquid, suntanned lotion in one of these airport see-through bags. But it's a really strong plastic, and the bottles are the ones what you get for taking chemicals through airport security. They squash quite a lot, but they have a really secure top. So I've had none of that. I've never had one of these fail on us. They do have other sizes with pumps and some smaller things, but the full kit was only £1. I kind of wanted that. Set of earphones for the phone, which I'm shooting this video on at the moment. Just a bit of music. Medicated soap, mirror, hand sanitizer, toothbrush, toothpaste, foldable toothbrush on a microfiber towel. Obviously most kit comes in what I've put in a dry bag. It does make a difference having it all together. Here's some stakes, some tent pegs. I have 10 tent pegs there and 4 guide ropes. I've just wrapped the guide ropes around some more credit cards to keep them on nice and neat. Here we have, I've showed these on different videos, how it helps with the pressure nuts. Pre-made loops so that you can use a pressure knot, and the carabiners on the end can hook onto your ridge line. Makes it nice and easy, nice and quick. Another thing about these is you can fasten the carabiner over your ridge line, allowing you to fold the top all the way back on itself but still keep the top across the ridge line. I'll show you that in another video, but it does make a difference if it's a nice sunshiny day just to take the top down all together, get it out of the way but still leave a windbreak behind you. That's a figure 9. It's used on the ridge line. I just have a slip knot on one end that goes around the tree. Run the ridge line out, put it through your figure 9, put some tension on it, lock it off, done. A couple of spare carabiners, you never know where they come in useful, closing the edge of your top up, make a decent top tent. Here is a gorilla pod. It's either this one or I have a Hanimar proper tripod. It's a little bit heavier, but you can get a bit higher up. Water kit, this is a foldable camp sink. Soya squeeze mini, the bottle. Obviously I can use that in conjunction with pre-filter, which is always the best way of doing it, with the Millbank bag. That's in a dry bag as well. Moving on to the technology, I have this is the adapter for my phone to make it into a camera. I like it because it's got a backup battery, and you can actually charge this battery to charge your phone when your phone battery gets exhausted. And it's got a button to take photos and a mount which screws onto the Gorilla Pod, so it extends the length of my phone operation by about double. That's a microphone, lapel microphone that fits into this the camera phone. Gets rid of the wind noise if you really need to use it. A lantern, obviously this is the one that pulls out and turns into a torch or a lantern. Head torch, spare batteries, Sharpie, pencil, in a dry bag. All the technology stays in a dry bag. This is an MI 10,000 milliamp USB charger. Really good. It's a lot of research to find that. It made us laugh because there was an article on YouTube about the Chinese company that makes this telling other Chinese companies that they were dishonourable by copying them, and they were showing the Chinese YouTube viewers how to identify other Chinese copies, which is rather ironic. USB charger for the phone and for the camera in a dry bag. This is one that you can actually shoot through. Selfie stick, self-explanatory. Mostly net, I've done them. Okay, this is like a spare pair of ex-military glasses. You look a right geek, but with the spring loading on the back, I've never had them fall off my face yet. Credit card with some duct tape on it. Decent compass on top of a makeshift shelter with a spare lighter and glow stick. If I did lose my top shelter altogether, blew away or whatever, I know I've got a backup shelter, light and fire in that plastic bag, all hot to go. First aid kit, a couple of notes there because the person treating you might not know what they're doing, so it's a couple of bits, so a guide there is useful. Inside, normal boo-boo kit, stuff to make you go to the toilet, stuff to stop you from going to the toilet, hay fever tablets, you can see tie wrap, scissors, strepsils for your throat, cotton wool buds, the normal things. It's just in a pencil case, but you can see through it, you know exactly what it is. Last bit is just the rods for the DD travel hammock, and everyone has one of these, but they do work, they're not too heavy. A backhoe for cutting up your firewood. So pretty much, with the addition of some food, that's I didn't mention the walking sticks. Obviously a great aid for walking, especially if you're carrying a heavy pack, but one of the more important things for me is to support the top if I'm on a beach and there's no trees. That's basically the poles for my tent. Important bit of kit. They're not expensive, the Summit ones, but they had a 1.4 reach when extended, which is quite high. But anyway, that's it. Put some food in the dry bags, get it all packed into there, and it's pretty much hot to trot. Oh, I did mention there was some other stuff. These are my options. If I'm going through light walking, I'm not going to be fighting through some trees, I use that different manufacturers. Windsmock, waterproof, Windmaster, not particularly a good make, but it works, and it's half the weight of your smock. British Army issue Gore-Tex wet weather gear, brilliant, never had a problem with it, tough as nails, but so heavy. I cannot believe how heavy it is, so unless I really need it, I won't bother taking it. Gerber machete, depends on where I'm going, if I've got to clear through anything. And this is the option for my tripod. 1.6 kilos, so it's quite heavy, about twice as heavy as the Gorilla tripod, but not too bad. And this is a new addition with the batteries out. It's about half a kilo, but it's an LED light. You can use it as a camp light, or it's designed as a videoing light. So very good, and it screws onto the Gorilla pod, so you can hang it up high. I showed you that in a couple of different videos.
LED lamp.
And then change your trousers, change your shirt. Depends if you think you're going to be needing it. But basically, that's the gear, and obviously whatever you've got on your back. I use Fjällräven trousers, Allbird boots. You don't have to go mad with the gear. You could obviously take this, which weighs about 20 kilos, and half that with better equipment, but it obviously cost you 3 times as more, 4 times as much. As far as I'm concerned, 20 kilos, 25 kilos, not a huge amount. Suck it up, get on with it. If you wanted to make it a lot lighter, you could do, but don't be surprised when they start asking you for £400 or £500 for your sleeping bag compared to 40 quid off eBay. So if it's important to you and you can't handle the weight, or you don't want to handle the weight for whatever reason, then you can swap some of these stuff out. But basically, that's the sort of gear that you're going to need if you're not going to be doing any videoing, then you can get rid of most of that. But the rest of it, I think that's pretty much a standard kit. And I hope that was some use. You'll be able to see all this kit out on the videos when I'm out and about in the forest while camping or whatever. So there's the kit, all in the dry bags and stuff sacks. I'll put all that into the bag and then I'll wait and see what the overall weight is. Obviously this doesn't include food or water. So when it comes to packing, first thing in there is the British Army Arctic sleeping bag, cinched down, and then next goes the DD under hammock quilt, and around the outside I'll wrap the hammock. That takes 2 hands, so I'll get back to you in a sec. So you can see the hammock is wrapped around the quilt. So in this layer is the thermarest, and then the top, and in the corner there, because the thermarest is a bit shorter, is a wash kit. So that's that layer. Okay, and the last level on the top is gaiters in the corner there, wash kit, sorry, gaiters in the corner, cook kit near the top. Obviously it's got a water bottle in there, all the cook kit, so I can just grab that and make a brew. This side used to be the old hammock, the old top stuff sack. It's got all the technology in the back of saw, 10 pegs, ridge line, bigger D's, all the stuff what you need to start setting up. And then water kit goes on the top, which is the Millbank bag, so you squeeze, just in case you happen to come across a water source you can utilise. And then that hole down there is my technology, head torch, lanterns, battery backup, connecting cables. And then the very top of that, if I can reach it with the other hand, is a couple of bin bags. These are wheelie bin bags, so if need be I can put it over top of me entire kit. You can use them to block out the wind, and in the top, lots of good uses. You can also put rubbish in them. So that's pretty much the top layer. So in the mesh lid, I have my emergency shelter with the flint, magnesium block, cord with some duct tape on it, lighter, glow stick, So that's if I lose all my shelter, that's the backup. That goes in. And then first aid kit near the top, show you where it is. Turn that sideways, it's difficult with one hand, but there we are. First aid kit. And then I have my military issue spectacles with the indestructible clips on the side. And then mosquito net, compass and a map, gloves, and then goggles. I try to pack the goggles in amongst the gloves so that you don't stress the goggle arms or the safety glasses, just in case you break the arms. So all the stuff I need to grab quickly is all in there. Backup shelter, mosquito net, gloves, goggles, map, compass, all in the top. So in the bottom of the kit I put my British Army smock in this case, because I'm going into the forest. I put the cutting board and nail pad. I put that at the bottom, so if we do put it on any water, the nail pad stops it from getting too wet. Cutting board goes like that. You're not allowed to carry these knives in public, so the knife gets hidden there. And then my ground sheet goes in the top. And then the extra space at the front is usually used for my jumper or fleece, whatever you want to call it, because obviously usually when you walk in you get a bit too hot for a fleece, so stick the fleece into there rather than having it hanging off the back of your bag and getting soaking wet. So you can still see it's a little bit hollow in there, but that'll get filled up. On the front I usually put just a El Chico carabiner, but they come in useful, and at least I know which pack's mine in the sea of green backpacks. Don't like to see straps all over the place and things hanging off it if you can avoid it. Obviously this is a bit loose because there's nothing much in it. Side pockets, I have all that space in there for 2 dry bags full of food. That one's already got my almond milk in it. Same on the other side. Dry bag for food. And at the top you've still got another big pocket for more food. Or in this case I've been usually using it for my standby light. Which goes in there quite nice. So that's pretty much it. Fasten the poles on the front if you wish to. And I need the water bottles. Just go in the pocket. And with them being a smaller profile, don't stick out as much. Poles on top. Obviously the clothes in the back and some food and water, and then you're set. So anyway, hope that helped. I'll catch you next time. I'm Chippa Fate. Don't forget to subscribe if you get a chance, if you think it's worth it.